Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Try, Tested, Conquered. I'm your host, Shanta Moore. Look, soon to be co-host because none other than Miss Bella Biz about her biz is on with us this morning as well. Listen, we have a treat for you. And maybe it's just me. I don't know. This lady has an effect on me that has blown my mind now for oh God, it seems like the last 10 years. But it is a blessing to be able to call her friend, to be able to call her mama, and she responds, amen. None other, look, she's going to correct me if I don't do it justice. I love that about her. None other than South Carolina's official lady of song, Miss Loretta Holloway. Hi, Miss Loretta. How are you?
Good morning, Miss Shanta. Shanta,
Yes,
I
yes,
finally got your name right because that A always, Shanta. Well, anyway, good
yes,
morning,
for
lovely
you.
lady.
For
I
years, you
think I'm
called me Ashanti. You are absolutely
Ashanta.
right.
Ashanta, right.
Listen, first of all, thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you for taking the time, making the time to grace us with your presence today, because I am always feeling very blessed when I have a chance to sit down and commune with you. So thank you so very much for being here. Um, so you ready to share?
Yes, I'm so proud of you and all the accomplishments that you have done since we met. Wow, what was it? Eons ago.
Man, yeah.
Yee.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That means a lot. You cannot make me cry. We're only 2 minutes in to the interview. So, let's not do that. Thank you, but that
I
does mean
have
the
that
world.
effect.
That means the world to me. Thank you so very much. So
Yeah.
we want to just dive on in. We know, and a lot of people, okay, didn't Try Tested Company used to be on television? Yes, it did. And the basis of this show then is the same that it is now. Um, you've had a life, young lady. You've had a journey. Oh my God, you've gone places and grace stages and rooms that we only dream of, and I remember, I don't know if I shared this with you. When I very first time that I was introduced to Loretta Holloway,
Hmm.
I was working at 1073 Jams in South Carolina, and there was a picture of this. Oh God, this lady that her every strand of her hair was intact. There was something that she did with her body where it just seemed to flow in this dress, you know. And being a singer, being a performer, you got
Hmm.
my attention right off.
Right.
And so I was like, oh my God, who is this lady? And one of the upper managements at that time, a gentleman,
Ah,
this is what he said. He said, oh, that's Loretta. I said, okay, what do you mean? Oh, that's Loretta. He's like, honey, she swears that she is a songbird of South Carolina. So all of this negative undertone, but you know what? It didn't do nothing for how
yes,
I saw you on that photo and for God to navigate our lives. It wasn't even 4 or 5 months after I met the photo that I was
yes.
blessed to meet the vessel.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
amazing how, if we're not careful, we will stain people. To people who don't know who they are or have never heard of them. If we're not careful what we say in our own little funky mindset,
Yes.
we will take and tear down the
Mm-hmm.
awesomeness
Hmm.
of individuals. But I am so grateful that God just created me to be the type of person. Well, child, that didn't matter. I have great stages with you. I have sang with you.
Yeah.
We have slept in the same hotel room,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you're family. And I'm just so grateful to God that I did not let the opinions of man
Wow.
cost me my
That is
blessing.
a very interesting point because I just had this conversation the other day about how talk how we talk about people or address people, and you know you just have to be very careful of how you say things about other people because to other people because you never know who that person is and
Right,
their connection, and
right.
then they may love you, but then they start to dislike me because I have this negative opinion of you. So kind of learned through a friend of mine just to keep my opinion to myself sometimes, you know, which is kind of hard to do. You
Yes.
know me.
Yeah,
Yes, once I get
yeah,
going.
it is. No, it's amazing. And Bella, please jump in at any time. It's amazing when we were in Cozumel last year. I got
Yeah.
to see you literally with your hair down, and just enjoying life. And I looked at you and I said, you know what? She is just so full of life and just so ambitious that it's a pleasure to call you friend. So let's jump right on in.
Hmm.
Let's Who is Loretta Holloway?
Well, Loretta Holloway is I'm I'm blessed to have a wonderful blessing with the talent that I have. God has graced me and given me this wonderful talent to touch, to move people. I believe that I know that I am a messenger. So that's why I'm very conscious and very cognizant of how I carry myself, how I speak, what I speak, how I dress, especially on stage, because I I know that I represent a lot of things. And first of all, I want to represent um, quality, class, sophistication, uh, intelligence, and intellect,
Mhm.
because we're missing that in a lot of areas in our music and on television and in the social media. You know what young ladies gravitate to and towards, and they emulate. So I always carry myself, even when I'm at Ingles, not a shameless plug. I'm not always dressed or anything of that nature, but I am. I do have on clothes, but that would be a whole different. They will be coming to get me. But just in being friendly and speaking to people, it doesn't take much to make someone else feel good. Just a smile. Oh, that's a beautiful dress, which is a beautiful dress. I love black and white. I
Mm.
should go get my black and white. No.
Me too. Three of us.
Thank you, darling. Thank you, darling.
Yeah, the black and white leopard thing. But it takes so little,
I love.
to make someone else feel good. Um, and who is Loretta Holloway? My goodness. When I left South, when I was born and reared in a town called Belton, South Carolina. And I remember I was always in the library, sitting on the floor in Belton, and reading about faraway places. And I knew that I always wanted to visit these places. I had no idea what I wanted to. Oh, I wanted to be a mad scientist because I was always playing with worms and little frogs, and I had a little laboratory that my dad they built a little house for me out here, a little house, and so so I would bring my little ant towers in there and little tadpoles and all those kind of things and because I'm blessed to have all this. I should have done this outside, but to show you the beauty of outside and nature and everything. But because I'm blessed to be within the city limits and I have deer visiting me all the time and a lot of greenery. I love being surrounded by plants and live things and growing. But I knew that I had to leave. I knew that traveling was in my destiny. Even in elementary, high school, it was in my destiny. And then when I took my first chemistry lesson, I that image of me being a scientist just kind of went away. Going a chemistry lesson. I did well in what is it? Biology, botany,
Okay.
whatever. When you're
Okay.
cutting the frog and everything, I'm like, okay.
Right.
But um, my career did not really start, or I knew that I had a voice when I was in high school because I started a group called the Dimension of Soul,
Okay.
and that was during my senior year at Belton Honeypad High School, and that was just we had just done the integration thing. So we were
Okay.
the first graduating class from integrated class from Belton Honeypad High School.
Okay.
So my I had been singing in high school, and then started my own group. Um, After that, I went up to let's see, a friend of mine took me to Washington D.C. for a summer program, and that was before I was. I probably should have stayed in Washington D.C. But then
Okay.
again, that was not my destiny because I came back to graduate from Claflin University in Orangeburg.
Okay.
And at that time, I met my mentor, my very first musical mentor. God rest his soul. His name is Skip Pearson, and he
Mm.
was the ambassador of jazz for the state of
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina, and got the order of the Crescent, the whatever, the Palmetto, and all the accolades and all the awards and whatnot. And I went off to Chicago. I went off to Chicago. Um, I was there. It was a gentleman who would come to see me while I was in Greenville. And he said, I have a friend in Chicago who's a producer. I went, great. So we flew up to Chicago and we met with this gentleman by the name of, um, oh dear, I forgot his name already. Anyway, he had just signed, um, he had just signed a young lady by the name of Natalie Cole. And he did not want to hear about another female singer. He ended up marrying Natalie. I can't remember
Okay.
his name now for some reason. It's early and no lashes. Um, so I'm going, all right, well, we're here in Chicago. I hear Chicago is famous for jazz. Let's just take a walk and see what the city has to offer. So my friend and I were walking down the street, and I hear this music coming from an alleyway. And I said, let's go down here. So I went in, and the room was called the back room on Rush Street. The back room on Rush Street. And there was this trio, and this guy on drums, I had never seen a drummer or heard a drummer do that much. I said, my goodness, look at the little sticks. And he's just playing all these things, and then he was just jamming. And then I had never really seen an acoustic bass.
Okay.
They usually call it an upright bass or second, whatever. And the gentleman on there was L.D. Young, who was the original bass player with Ramsey Lewis. And then there was this fabulous keyboardist. And so this trio was unlike anything I had ever heard before. They were just phenomenal. So at the end of their break, I'm a little shy sometimes. So I went, hi,
Right.
look at me. No, I said, I'm coming in from South Carolina. And I sing a little bit. So they said, would you like to join us for a couple of songs? I said, yes. And at that time, I knew all of my keys, so I just rattled off, what a difference a day makes, key of F, B flat, Misty, that kind of thing. So one
Okay.
song became two became three. And as I was leaving, this gentleman approached me and he said, how would you like to have a job here? He said, I own this place. I went, oh, how lovely. Who knew? And so he said, how would you like to have a job here with this group working 4 nights a week? I said, perfect. He gave me the fee and everything, what I was going to make. And so I said, well, I have to come back to South Carolina and pack up my clothes and move to South Carolina. I mean, from South Carolina to Chicago. Because when I graduated from Claflin, I had no clue what I was going to do.
Mm.
None. But I knew that, and so I came back home, but I went to Greenville because at
Mm-hmm.
that time the music scene was moving.
Right.
So I rented a motel. There's a difference between a
There's a difference.
motel
There's a
and
difference.
a hotel.
Okay.
I rented a motel and I started to make the rounds, and I became known as this mystery singer. I would just make an appearance, sing, and people are going. It was a huge article that was written on where is she? Who is she? They got a picture, so they were looking for me. Yeah, it was
Okay.
already they're looking for me. Anyway, when I got to Chicago, I had $400 to my name. The lady behind the desk, and I did not know that at this time. I walked into a place called the Delaware Towers on Rush Street, and this was where all of the entertainers would stay when they came into the city, and all the people from the conservatory, opera singers and different opera things. They were at this hotel, which I was not aware of. And there was a lady behind the counter, and I never will forget her. She was so nice. And I said, "Well, my name is Loretta. I just got a job at the back room, and I need a room." So she said, "I have one available. I can let you have it for $200." I said, "Okay, that's good." She took me to this room. I had a king size bed. I had a living room. I had a dining room. I had a bathroom. I had a kitchen. All right. Overlook on
Uh,
the seventh floor, overlooking Chicago.
okay.
Um,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So as I'm listening,
Yeah.
and
uh-huh.
I hope that our viewers and our listeners are getting this. Now, you from South Carolina, and see,
Yes,
everybody just love my country voice because when it comes down to the South, we just
yes.
don't have access to certain things, you know. And
Right.
so
Hey,
I'm listening at this voice that is calling out from the inside of you that knew you were hungry for something. It wasn't that it was handed to you on a platter. You had to make the first move. And
yes.
hearing you say, I had to leave. I've said that so many times dealing with my
Hmm.
hometown because I'm from the South too, you know.
Yeah.
And even though my family is very well known for our vocal abilities,
Hmm.
it was just something that I knew it was bigger waiting on me outside of
Hmm.
this little small country town. Love my hometown, love my family, love my people. I just knew
Right.
that I could not be all that God had created me to be if I stayed. So I hear the main lesson that I hear that you're saying is you had to pick up your bed and walk. You
This
had
is
to
true.
go and to gravitate towards that thing that was stirring on the inside of you. Bella, what about you? What?
Listen, Miss Loretta, and it's Miss
Yeah.
Loretta from my perspective.
Yes.
You impact so many
Okay.
different things, but I want to peel back, as Queen did, to talk a little bit about the younger generation. Because on
Okay.
so many occasions, I have found myself going, doing whatever, and just to set an example. My question to you is, when you see a young lady out of sorts, whether it's the dress code or they're speaking out of their mouth, out of tone, what does that make you feel like? And do you feel empowered to speak to them in the moment?
It depends on the situation and where I am, because at one point you could, as someone who's older, I could go up to a young lady and say this and this and this. But now you have to be so very careful because the energy and the attitudes here, that we have here now, they've been perpetrated through the music, the attitudes. When I hear cars going down the highway going dun, 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 and all the words coming out, I went, "Ugh, how could they listen to that all day?" And then they emulate these things. So it depends on the young lady, the atmosphere. If I feel that it is right for me, I would never say anything about how someone is dressed. But I did do a drama class and a coaching class. So that gave me leeway to suggest different things to ladies. Now, my speech, I did have a very thick Southern accent, but I worked on it to get rid of it. I was an English major at Claflin University. And when I got to Chicago, I thought, I knew everything. I should have unplugged that. Oh dear. Here we go. So I thought I knew everything. And then I get to Chicago and I'm speaking poorly. because I met a gentleman who later became my husband. And he was going, "What did you say? And what was that?" So I'm on the world stage, you know, and I always tell people to enunciate. Please enunciate. Um, and I had to unlearn a lot of Southern terms.
That was good.
Yeah,
The fact that you said you had to unlearn, and a lot of
right.
people categorize that as, oh, you bougie now, or you think you're better than me now. No, I'm dressing for the role that I desire. I I like what you said about the southern, our southern tone, our southern slang, our southern accent.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Coming from a family full of singers, my mother was a minister of music. Um, and one of the things that she used to say to me all the time was, "Baby, if you can't speak correctly, how do you expect them to understand you when you sing?" So
Right.
I became the target of, oh, she talks like she's white, or, she talks like she's better than us. So I can definitely relate to what you're saying.
Right. And one of my earlier influences musically was Nancy Wilson. So I love the
Yeah.
way she dressed. I love the way she carried herself. I love the way you could hear every word that she is singing, and her enunciation. So she was my first early influence as far as music is concerned. But getting back to the young kids of today, um, I don't know. They're not they're not all affected. There is hope. There is hope when I see things happening and someone steps up to the plate and they're very bright and knowledgeable. There is hope. But I'm very concerned about what they hear and see that's drone into their head every day with the rap music. And it doesn't necessarily have to be rap music either. There's some very positive rap songs out here and gospel
Right.
rap as well. But the negative
Yeah.
things, and this is what they gravitate towards. These are the people that they emulate. Um, but no, I'm very careful of how I address people, and especially ladies, young ladies.
Sure.
Um, to say, if I were you, which I'm not, you might want to rethink that, or um, that's not really a good idea, or something of that nature.
And I appreciate it, Loretta. And where I was coming from, I absolutely agree. It's just I feel it gives us an opportunity to better show them than tell them. Sometimes you have to walk the walk. Talking the talk is fine, but in this generation, I have a young adult and I have
Mhm.
learned, I have learned, Queen and I talk about it a lot. Show
Yep.
them and tell them. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look,
But
I guess I can
once they
consider
see
my
me on stage and what I do, then they will approach me, and then I can better
Yes.
say different things. So,
it's amazing when we talk about etiquette. We're out here and we're on this ship and we're in the middle of the sea, and I'm enjoying this Loretta time, right? We would always eat our food right where we could see the water, right by this big window.
yeah,
Um, and I remember, I told you, little country girl, right? Now I've gone, I've toured, I've done some things. I've done some things. Okay, but now we're on the ship and we're at our assigned area and this elegant
the dining
table.
room.
And I
Yes.
sit down and they bring the first round of food, and I don't know what you're supposed to call it. It's just food. And so I pick up the wrong fork, and she said, ah. Before I knew it, I was like, what? That is not the right fork, darling, to
That's
eat with.
right.
And so sharing that because of like what you just asked, Bella, she's always, when you have that opportunity, I've seen she's always going, no, that's not ladylike.
Right.
No, I'm sorry. You say you serve who? I don't know. And it's always,
Eat from the
she's just,
inside out. Inside out. The first is the salad, and then the main course. So you
listen,
eat from the
I
inside
got
out.
it then.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
I got it then. I got it then.
Yeah.
I said,
And then when
nobody
you
has
have
ever
a
paid
big
attention to
roll,
my
when you have
fork.
a roll, you don't take a whole lot of butter and just
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, you take a little piece, and then you put the butter on your butter knife. There is a butter knife. That's what they're for. Okay, and you put a little butter on the bread, and
But
you
what
eat.
if I want to use the backside of my spoon? It's
You
gonna
do
get
whatever
on
you
there
want to do.
anyway.
You do whatever you want to do. That's why I moved to another table. No, I
That's
ain't kidding.
right.
Oh my goodness, you're absolutely right. She was like, okay, this is just a lost cause.
You know,
I
I
got
have to
that.
watch myself because I am called Miss Correct All, and you
Yes,
know that
you are.
I
Oh my
am Miss
goodness.
Correct All. Okay.
Listen, I
Um,
loved it. I loved it. And I love you. I loved it. So, wow, you've opened up for some people on this journey. You've been invited to some palaces on this journey. I think it's very important for people to understand your humble beginnings. Your not so fabulous, my name in lights beginning, not really just born into that, but that you had to labor, work, and earn to
well,
be
you know,
called the official South Carolina Lady of Song. That's
First
huge.
lady, South officials,
I,
first
I,
lady
I
of
always
song.
miss the first, don't I?
First
Okay.
lady, South
First
Carolina
lady of song.
official first lady of song. That
I
came as
got
a
you.
wonderful,
Ah,
wonderful surprise. I'm
So,
also an Anderson County treasurer by the county of Anderson. So I'm a
oh,
little
wow.
treasurer.
I didn't
Um,
know
and
that.
wow.
I
I
also
Congratulations.
have
didn't
the
know
key to the
that.
city of Newark.
Now, I did know that. I did know that. And I wanted you
Yeah.
to share that with us because
Yes.
your journey is one of, well, small Belton to the
Yes.
world. Talk to us about some of the people that you've been blessed to, grace the stage with, open up for, be special guests of. Uh, Talk to us about this little Belton, South Carolina girl's journey.
Well, I tell you what, I just wrote uh, an essay or a thing about what it is to be an entertainer and how you carry yourself. And I always say that it doesn't matter how many people are in the audience. Your obligation is to the people who showed up, not to the people who didn't.
Right.
And I have performed to two people, and they have been the two people who, when I was in, I went to Las Vegas to do a soundtrack for a movie called Blackjack,
Okay.
and I learned about a showcase in Las Vegas that buyers, talent buyers from different hotels would come in, and it was a very popular showcase. So I learned about it very late. I went to the music store and I got a piece of music, and the guys, it was a trio that we did some head charts. By the time I got on, which I got on late, it was about 4 or 5 people in the audience. So I sang as if, hey, I'm here, da da da. So these two gentlemen come up to me again. I'm always approached by, these things. And they said, we'd like to offer you a contract in London, England for a week. I went, perfect. And so we worked out the details, the flight arrangements, all of this, the monies, the hotel. Um, and that was my first time out of the country, was in London and singing at a place called Blazers in Slough. And they said, now listen, I want you to understand, don't get offended because at certain points of your show, people will get up and leave. I went, okay.
Hmm.
So I'm up there singing. I got my musical director with me, and all of a sudden, people from different parts of the room get up to leave. And I'm singing, and I said, okay, wait, stop, don't go, don't go. I won't ever sing that song again. Come back. They said, no, we have to catch the last train to London. The last train to London. I went, oh, all right. That's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So you never know who is in your audience. And if there, and this has happened to me on many, many different occasions. When I was in Bangkok, there were two other gentlemen in the audience, and they were from Australia. And they had been a little rowdy. It was a whole table of them, a group of them. I later found this out. This story was very fascinating, how we first met. So they started singing Waltzing Matilda, Waltzing Matilda. And from the stage with my microphone, I said, what is a Matilda? And so this gentleman jumped up on stage. He's very energetic. I could tell he's an entertainer. I can tell he's a performer. So his name was Paul Sharrett. God rest his soul. He said, listen, we want to exchange information with you, and we're going to get back with you in about 6 months. I'm going, okay, fine. I heard that before. But 6 months later, he said, Loretta, how would you like to sing for Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip during a Royal Command performance? I said, hey, let's book it. So he said, the only thing that I'm going to need from you is your Broadway medley. Because, so I sent him 2 charts so that they could augment it for a 52-piece Her Queensland Symphony Orchestra. Wow. So that's why I say you have to be very cognizant of how you present yourself in every situation, because you never know who's out there who can advance your career, give you an opportunity you never dreamed of. So from South Carolina, I'm on the stage giving a Royal Command performance for Queen Elizabeth. I'm backstage meeting her, she and Prince Philip. I have wonderful press, beautiful. I mean, it was just, I'm still amazed today at, and I do have footage on my website, which is lorettaholloway.com. I have the full episode of me singing for Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, and then at the end that you see a shot of her in the audience, and then of me being introduced and greeted. I forgot protocol. You know me. I'm going, how you doing, Queenie? No.
Wait a minute, Loretta. You didn't do the curtsy?
No, I didn't. She came to me and I said, greetings from America. Stupid. I'm going, I don't know, because I was the only American on the bill. It was for the 82 Commonwealth Games. So I really literally was second to the last to closing out the show. So they wanted something kind of Las Vegas theme. So they had these dancers behind me during my Broadway medley. I only did 2 songs. That was enough. More Today Than Yesterday and the Broadway medley. And so, from there, I went back to Las Vegas where I was staying. And I've opened for Bill Cosby, who was always the perfect gentleman. Always. Always. I appeared with him twice. Jay Leno, 7 times. Don Rickles, 8 times. Here's a picture of David Brenner back here somewhere. Oh, did I say the Queen? Oh, just look. Just so happens I have. Look, how did that happen? Where did that come from? Anyway, and it was just an amazing time. I did go back to Australia to do my own show. And Paul Sharrett, Susan Sharrett, Hugh Cornish, I will always be grateful to them. And Susie and I are still friends to this day. So Paul Sharrett was quite a gentleman. Wow. And he was the producer of the gala. So I appeared with Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, I got a picture. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I think so.
I do see that.
Yeah.
Okay. And
cool.
That was my T-shirt. Someone made a T-shirt with that picture there. And that's at the Fairmont Hotel in Dallas. That was at another gala that I did. Do you see all the dust in my house?
We don't see the dust,
okay. And there's, I don't know if you can see David Brenner
Yeah.
No, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Then let's
yes,
see who I got.
yes.
Okay.
Because I was going to
Okay.
ask you to do that. I wanted to
Really?
see those photos.
All right. That's me doing an interview with Jerry Lewis because they did a documentary on me in Las Vegas and with Sammy.
Oh.
So I was appearing at Catch a Rising Star, which is a comedy club, and I was one of the very star in Las Vegas. But Jay Leno, Bill Cosby, Don Rickles, Whoopi Goldberg. So it was so funny. That was so funny how when she came out on stage. Oh no, when I was still on stage after my show. I mean after you when you open for someone you have 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I and you do not go over your 30 minutes slot. So I would always be off at 28 minutes, dead on the money. 28.
Okay.
28. All right. So backstage, I hear Whoopi say, "Where, where's my dress? You know, the frou-frou dress that I had, the blue frou-frou dress." And her assistant said, "I don't know, but I think I saw Loretta wearing it." And then, and she said, and where's my hair? My long hair? He said, I think Loretta had it. And so the one time she did that, she said, "Where's my blue dress?" I threw the blue dress out on the floor in front of her. I'm going, "Here, it didn't fit anyway." And so she was so great. And we would love to pull pranks on each other, you know. So um, I've had some really incredible, amazing times and being able to travel around the world um, and enjoy it while it was civilized and you could travel, you could fly without having to take off all your clothes and this kind of thing. So okay, that's my agent calling. No, it's not. Anyway,
He needs to know that you're live.
Yes, exactly.
yes, I'm
Oh,
live.
Miss Loretta,
So
Yes,
go
ma'am.
ahead.
I'm sorry, Queen. I'm jumping out of my seat because there's a small audience out there that knows me. And I have this little thing called a production world I live in. So for
Okay.
15 years, I've done production and award shows. And I have got to ask you this question because I want the audience to understand. So I am used to being on the other side when you perform. You know, that
Okay.
production crew that ushers you in and get you set up and give you your credentials and get you to makeup and hair and the the whole bit with the when you do your sound check, mic check.
Right,
I
right.
want you to talk a little bit because I have been blessed, as Queen knows. I have met some extraordinary people, right? Just ordinary people doing extraordinary things in the celebrity world. And
Wow.
what I have found, Miss Loretta, I pay homage to you, is the drooling atmosphere of all of the people in production running behind to make it happen for you to perform. But I want
Mhm.
you to talk a little bit about the feeling that you have as an artist when you have all these different people coming to you with instructions, because I live in that world, I still do. And I just sometimes empathize, believe it or not, empathize with the entertainer because you're
Mhm.
just there to perform, but you have all these different people coming to you, telling you all these different things. And sometimes that can be lonely, grueling, and sometimes it's like I get tired of people looking at me, right? So can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, I never get tired of people looking at me. I'm going. I have a big sign
Okay.
that goes, "Here I am. Here I am. Look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree." Um, and so I don't know. You know, I have not met. People have been very kind to me. People have been very gracious and giving. Um, I have not met anyone that made me one time, two times, that made me feel uncomfortable. And I quickly dismiss anything that they have to say or whatever. Um, but I'm here to entertain, and anyone here who is helping me to do that, to get me ready, I make sure my microphone is here. Well, I always carry my microphone on stage because I usually, the first thing that I do is I like for the audience, if I'm new to them and they are new to me, is for the first thing that I want them to hear is my voice. So I usually open with a song that I sing off stage. And then once it gets into tempo, I make my entrance. I think that's the element of surprise. I have a huge voice. I've been blessed with a very huge voice and a quirky sense of humor, So um, anyone who's willing to help, and I'm willing to follow their instructions. I've had some people who did not help, and so I got rid of them, and they were in my entourage, my band.
Oh yeah.
I don't like negativity on my stage. I said, you take that negativity off my stage. I have literally, they used to call me the hatchet in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Hatchet.
Do you agree to that?
You mean you're working for the hatchet? I'm going, all right, he's out of here. Get rid of him. Gone. Well, literally, I had to tell one of my guys, I said, you're bringing down the atmosphere. We're here to have a good time. Get your stuff, get off the stage and leave. Now, now. Okay. So, but that's far and few between. People have been very kind, very generous, very giving.
There's little queen. No, brother, I appreciate that because you make me feel better to do what I do because I'm a servant. And I tell you, it's something like what you talked about the young generation. And I've just found, and I won't name names, I won't name the shows, but I've just found a lot of the entertainers to be very misguided and entitled, and that kind of comes off to the production staff. So I was just going from that perspective of people are here to serve. We appreciate your craft. We're here just to help you. And, I'm glad that you said that. And I would like to work for you.
Yes. But it's where you approach someone too,
Yes.
And I know that, things are moving backstage quickly. And so sometimes a tone might get elevated when it's not meant to be elevated. It's just, okay, we got to, this has got to happen, whatnot. I remember when I was opening for Bill Cosby, 5 minutes, and they give you a countdown. 15 minutes to showtime, Miss Holloway, da 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 da. So I come out of my dressing room. Then 5 minutes to showtime, I'm backstage. I'm backstage talking to the sound techs, the crew, looking at the piano, this and that, making sure that I have my microphone in my hand. And they said, we cannot find your conductor. I said, the show will go on. Because you see this hand here? I told you, follow this hand. Whatever this hand does, this is it. I can direct. So it was a 25-piece orchestra. Could not find my conductor anywhere. He was over in the corner doing him. I don't know. He was just out there. And he just wanted to see how I would react. I'm going, you're fired. You're fired. I mean, that was such a close call, but the show will go on. I mean, nothing will interfere with me doing what I have to do and what I was put on this earth to do. And so if you have to get rid of people who are toxic, you do that. And you just, clear the stage, clear the baggage. But for the most part, I have had some phenomenal musicians, phenomenal talent share the stage with me. And I like to give people if I know they're the singers in the audience, I'll invite them on stage as well, because that's really how I met Bill Cosby. I was a guest at the Fremont Hotel. I mean, at the Frontier, and he would come in to see the Treniers, and he would sit in and play drums after his show. And so everybody knew that Bill Cosby was in the show, was in the room. So they would come in, and so I got up to sing, and I did that twice. And um, after the second time, I said, Bill, what is it going to take for me to open for you for the show? He said, all you have to do is ask.
Mm.
And I did. So, in about 2 weeks later, I got a call from his agency saying, Miss Holloway, we have this 2 weeks in Harris and Lake Tahoe and Atlantic City. Da, 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 da. Are you available to open for Mr. Cosby? I said, yes. So we worked out all the details and everything. So again, you just never know where your opportunities are. And you can never give up. You can never give up. Sometimes I feel like it. Sometimes I feel like, but I'm at the point in my life where I said my latter years are going to be much better than my former years.
Oh,
Everything that I've done in the past, all the accolades oh, this is beautiful. Let me show you. Wait. This is the Las Vegas Legends Award.
wow.
Miss Mabel Peyton Buckner. We did this in 2017, and it
Wow.
was for all the entertainers who had we kind of not really started out together, because Las Vegas used to be such a wonderful small community.
Mhm.
We would, when I finished my show, I would tell the people in my audience, okay, kids, this is where I'm going. I'm going to see another friend of mine who's just down the street. And you could go from place to place to place in Las Vegas, and there was entertainment 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Somebody was singing somewhere at somewhere. So I would tell people to come and go join me because I'm going to visit my friend, and this is where he's playing. Um, and that was a high honor. And I had not been back in Vegas in about 10 years. So to see all of my friends again, and for Miss Mabel Buckner to have pulled all that together, it was a class. It was just pure class, all the way. So I applaud her.
How does it make you feel? I mean, I understand this is your life, so you're the it. You're the it. But if you remove the fact and the knowledge that you know what, you're Loretta Holloway, and you take a glimpse at the life that you've lived, what's the first thing that comes to mind? First word that comes to mind?
Wow. Wow. Because um, a friend of mine who was my publicist, and she kept a scrapbook of some pictures through the years, and I even forgot about them. I even forgot the certain situation that I was in, and I said, you know what? I have had one wonderful, incredible life and career. Even if the world does not know the name Loretta Holloway, which is, I would love to be able to turn on the radio and hear some of my songs being played, um, and a nice couple of Grammys here or two. But that's not the main issue. It's how you touch people and how you treat people.
Yes.
So I was thinking about that. I said, if something were to happen, and especially in this coronavirus new world that we're in, I have lived a very blessed life. I've survived some things by the grace of God. Whoa, did I survive some things by the grace of God? In China, I had a very uh, I can't say what kind of, it was a very tense experience. But God provided over me. I listened to Mr. Luther Barnes uh, tape always before I went downstairs to do my show. It's your time. I played that every night. It's your time, and that got me through a lot of things.
Yes.
So when I had my honoring, I don't think you were. When I had my honoring here in Belton, Luther Barnes came and surprised me to sing.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Big
I
deal.
didn't know that.
yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, he came, and it was a red carpet event.
Wow.
We had the limousines because that's another life. The red carpet event. It was at the Belton Museum, and everyone was dressed to the nines. Um, a wonderful meal by Chef Manigal, and I was presented the plaque by Senator Odell of, with the as South Carolina's official First Lady of Song, then Alas, then Anderson County Treasurer, um, and my mentor Skip Pearson presented me with a plaque as well for the First Lady of Song of South Carolina from his organization, the Skip Pearson organization. Um, so when I look back over my life and the places I've been to I've been to Nice, the Isles of Greece.
Ah,
I've sipped champagne on a yacht. I moved like Harlow through Monte Carlo and I showed them what I've got. I
yes.
was impressed by kings. Well, you're a king. And I've seen some things. I've seen some things that a woman ain't supposed to see. I've been to paradise, but I've never been to me. That's on
Mm,
one of my. That song is on one of my CDs. On my
mm.
CD. Oh look! How
Wow.
did I get here? I just. You are just so.
I got to get a
You
copy
don't
of
know
that, Miss
what's wrong with
Loretta.
you, huh?
I got to get a copy of that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes,
I got
yes.
17 songs. This CD saved my life.
Mm,
This CD saved my life. I had gone through 3 recording sessions with 3 different recording entities, and the money or the people fell through at the last minute. And I said, if it were not so devastating, it would be funny.
mm.
So I said, once before I die, I want to see my face on the cover of a CD, even if I have to produce it myself. So there are 17 songs. They're all ballads. And I wanted to, because I had a group and we were doing contemporary music and loud music at the time, and mixing things up. I didn't even know if I could sing anymore. So I went into the studio late one after my performance because I wanted that kind of raspy voice, you know. And I took lessons. I listened to Shirley Horn and a guy by the name of Little Jimmy Scott. And that's how I wanted the CD to be. So it's all acoustic piano, live strings, and an acoustic bass. I wanted songs on here that I usually do very big, like Everything Must Change. Um,
Mm.
uh, let's see, At Last. I did Old Man River. And I understand I'm one of very few female singers to have done Old Man River. And I love doing songs with verses to them. So At Last, Strange Fruit,
Mm.
which was, the first anti-lynching song that was introduced by
Yes.
Billie Holiday.
Yes.
So I did that on here. Love Don't Need a Reason, which is the LGBTQ, DG, their their anthem. Love Don't Need a Reason. Uh, Love is all we have for now. What we don't have is time, which is so true. Which is so true. We have to make the best of each moment that we have. I take nothing for granted. I don't. Now, especially with the COVID, and one day you're here, the next day you're not. That's why I say reach out to your friends, people you haven't spoken to in a long time. Check on them, see how they're doing. Um, it gets lonely, and it's good when you do call a friend that you haven't spoken to in a long time. They would
Mhm.
love to. I love to hear their voice on the other end of the line. And I called a friend of mine last night too, who a gentleman I haven't spoken to in a while. But he chimed in on something we were talking about, Shanta. And so I gave him a call, and it was good to reconnect. And it was also nice to hear a man's voice on the other end.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Listen, you are a mess. It was nice to hear a man's voice. You are a mess. Uh,
Okay,
um,
I needed it. And so,
we have about 5 minutes left here.
oh
And this has been good. Like I said, I know you, and I know the awesome life that God has blessed you to walk out. Um, but you do know that you got to give me a little bit of everything must change, right? You knew you were not going to get off this live without humming something,
no,
right? I mean, you knew
everything.
that.
No,
Yes.
everything has
Loretta,
changed.
yes.
Listen, I know what is in there, and I was
Yes.
telling Bella, from hanging with you, and we've been on stage together, we've been in stage plays together, we've done a
Yes.
sitcom together. Do you remember that?
Oh,
Oh, that was
how can I
wow.
forget? Those were some
Um,
great times.
yes, we've had some great times, but I never saw you in all of our engaging the way I
Yes.
saw you when you came out on that floor on that ship. That was something. And I sat there, and my mother, I told you my mother was a minister of music and phenomenal vocalist. I used to sit at my mom's feet, and I know my mouth was wide open because I was just in
Uh-huh.
awe of how poised she was, how every note
Right.
was right where it needed to be, and more so how engaging the audience was. It was like they were just as in awe as I was. And I nobody's really ever given me that feeling other than my mom. And I
Ah,
remember sitting there, and when you came out and the light, and it was just like you opened your mouth and air stopped. It was like, oh my God, where is this coming from? Do you see this little person sitting in front of me? Where is all of this big voice coming from? And so definitely not to, just put you on the spot, but um I don't think you can sing any different than you did that night, whether you're in a gown or sitting in your house.
I
So
was
I
sitting in my house. Yes. What the? Um, everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone will change. Nothing stays the same. There are not many things in life, not in this life, you can be sure of, except the sun comes from the clouds, the rain comes from the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Everything will change.
Oh my God, I love you. 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 You got
Thank
tears in my
you.
eyes.
Miss Loretta, you have to share with the audience how they can get in touch with you through your
Yes.
website, any projects you're working on. Please, please share that information.
Yes, and I just recorded 2 new songs, so we're
Yeah.
working on that. But my website address, Shonda, do you have it on your feed or I
Which
think
one
I
is
sent
it?
you a link. It is my name, LorettaHolloway.com, not to be confused with Lolita Holloway.
I'm gonna spell it right.
Yeah, no, because her name comes up a lot because she was the disco diva.
Ah,
Uh,
Okay.
so my name is LorettaHolloway.com. I'm also on Facebook. I'm also on Cash App.
put it out there, Miss Loretta. Put it out there.
I
Yes.
ain't mad with you.
Ring
Oh,
skirt.
look. That's why I happen to have my DVD live at the Peace Center for the Performing Arts. There are 18 songs on here, four gown changes, costume changes by Stephen Yerrick. And my mom and dad, oh, that's upside down. My mom and dad were in the audience. This
Oh,
was, I equate this with the what I did for Queen Elizabeth, that whole feeling, because my mom and dad, my entire family were in the audience. That was the first and the last time that
wow.
has happened.
Mm.
Because I
And
have since lost my mom and dad.
they can get that at
Um,
lorettaholloway.com.
yes, you go to the order page. There's an order page, and it will show you how to, and all of the orders come directly to me,
Okay.
to my post office box, which is
Great.
post office box, 778, so that I can personalize them any way you would like. So
Okay.
that's why I did that. But yeah, I've been so many places in my life and time. Would
Yes.
I change things? Yeah, I would. But then again, I say I'm supposed to be now where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
And I looked at that. I still have that piece of paper that I wrote, getting busy about God's business
Mm.
that we
Mm.
discussed. It's on my, I can take you to, but it's junky in there and I won't move it. It's on my mirror. When you said that to me when we were having lunch on the cruise, it just penetrated to me. And I wrote it down on a piece of paper and I put it on my mirror and I see it every day. So I thank
Wow.
you for that, Miss Shanta.
Wow.
Phew.
Wow. Here we grow. Here we grow. You
Yeah.
never know.
Here
I
we
like what you said earlier. You never know who you're going to meet. And more importantly, you never know the impact, the lasting impact that you're
Yes.
going to have on someone's life.
Mm.
So that means the world to me. And on this here Jesus journey, you
Yeah.
don't get to hear people say, "Good job,
That's right.
thank you, I'm better for that." So you don't know what that just did for me. So I thank you. I thank you. Listen, I thank you for joining us this morning. I know that some people have learned some things today, but if nothing else, that they take away from this moment in time,
Mm.
understand that you have to be involved in the life that you want. You can take and sit around and complain about, I wasn't born here, I didn't have that, I can't go here. Or you can do
Yeah.
like Miss Loretta did and just say, you know what? This ain't working for me.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys in the funny things. And I think because of your boldness, stepping outside of what was traditional, I mean, even your family business, you
Yeah.
toured the world. Okay, you guys got that. I got to go to this thing that's calling me. I don't know. It's pulling me. And
It's true.
because you made that move, you have blessed the world with the gift that God has given you, with the personality that God has given you. Because I'm telling you, we've been on here now an hour. You try spending a day with this young lady. Oh, good God Almighty. Your life is forever changed. Um, and I remember, it had been some years since we had seen each other. And then
Yeah.
we just so happened to be in the mall and you were doing an event there. And I was like a little kid in a candy store. That's Mama Lowe. That's Loretta. You know,
Yeah. Mama Low. I'm going, how did I become everybody's
yeah,
mama?
yeah, yeah.
I
So,
mean, yeah.
so
Miss
just,
Correct
just,
all.
just thank you, thank
Thank you.
you,
And I
thank
thank everyone listening and viewing and keep watching because you are an inspiration. You really are.
thank you,
Yes, she is.
thank you, thank you. Okay, take it, Bella, because she got me about to cry. Just go ahead and close it out.
I want
Ah,
you to close out Miss Loretta with a legacy because you already have it. But if you want to share anything positive, what you plan to leave behind, because I already see it. I'm gonna take
Hmm.
a seat back. Just share your last few parting words to the listening audience as to what you are leaving behind. And I thank you.
wow, what am I leaving behind? Uh, I would leave you with we are living in very, very uncertain times. And to take advantage of every beautiful day, don't take anything for granted. Not your family, your friends, even yourself. Take good care of your health. Um, what I'm leaving behind is a thank you. Thank you for all the people who have touched my life. Thank you for all the people who have uh, bought my CD and said, you know, my dad listened to your CD every night. He's now expired. Not that the CD did it, but that it brought him comfort. To know that I have brought comfort to people, and when I get these people chiming in and saying how you saved me, or and that's very powerful. That is very powerful to me because God has given me an amazing gift, and I know where my gift comes from, you know, and I do not take it for granted. I do not. That's just be ready, be prepared, and take 1 minute at a time. Do the best we can. Try to keep a positive attitude as much as you can. Work with what you have.
Mm.
You know, work with what you have. Where you are right now. Keep working. Keep working at it, and learn something new every day. See, I need to take my own advice. I can give some good advice. Now, if Loretta just takes it, that's a whole different thing. And make sure you get your eyes checked because you know that's going. That's going to.
Yeah.
And yeah, really. But you know, life has been great. It has.
Thank you. Thank you. To those of you that are tuned in, I pray that you grabbed some of these nuggets that she threw out. Um, you got to get up and go get the life that you
Mm,
know is calling you, and you can't let fear. You can't let where you're from. You can't let other people, the fact that other people are not doing or are not going. You got to know that for such a time as this in your life, God has chosen you at this moment to be
yes.
the difference in the room. So
Right.
instead of spending time comparing, you got to
Ah.
understand that the
Yes.
awesomeness that's on the inside of you,
Mm,
your neighbor ain't got. And it's okay, So go be great on purpose. Thank you guys for chiming in and tuning in. Loretta, Mama Lo, you done told me up. So, I'm trying to get through this here closing. Thank you guys for beating us here again on the new OPNS 97.1. And if you do not have us downloaded or saved or something, listen, opns971.com. You can always listen to the station 24/7 there. Or hey, my Android people, there's an app, OPNS 97.1. I remember when we started this journey, you had to go through 40 stations to find our app. But
oh
oh,
wow.
how good God is. Because now
Yeah.
when you type it in, we're number one. And if I would not have stepped out on faith, if
Yes.
I'm not finna cry with y'all today. I love you
Go,
guys.
Oh,
Queen. Go, Queen. Go ahead,
right.
Queen.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank
Thank you.
everyone. Be
Thank
safe, everybody.
God
Wear your
bless you. I
mask.
love you. I love you. Bella Biz about her biz. I love you, baby.
Bella
Chat
Biz. I love her voice.
soon. Have a great one, guys. Mm.